Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Kitchings Table. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. Always glad to be with you on Tuesday mornings. And if we didn't say so last week, we'll say so today. Belated happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. I hope that your holiday was filled with good things. You got plenty to eat as we normally do on this time of the year for Thanksgiving. And you had the joy and blessings of being around family members and friends to augment that holiday. So hope everything worked out well for you. As always, joining me, my co-host, Ronleen Kennedy. Good morning, Ronleen.
Good morning, Earl. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So before we get into the show, I have to ask because it's the number one question. Did you get enough to eat?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't overdo it, did you?
No, I couldn't overdo it if I wanted to.
Oh, I don't think we hear that often. Couldn't overdo it if I wanted to. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think the word that sometimes is used for holidays or when we having feast. And feast comes under a lot of different names: picnic, family reunion, birthday, anniversary. Just because felt like cooking a lot of food. I don't know, but moderation,
Mhm.
moderation. Take it all in moderation. And some people eat their desserts before they eat their main meal. Did you know that?
Now, I like that idea. I've done that many a times. I didn't
You
do
ate the
that this
dessert,
time. Yeah, I've done that.
didn't spoil your appetite.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know many people who do that, but I know there are some who eat the dessert before they get to the main meal. And of course, when we were growing up, you couldn't eat that dessert because what would your parents tell you?
Because you won't eat your food.
Yeah, it's going to spoil your appetite. You're not going to eat your
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah, you're not going to eat what you're supposed to have. So your vegetables and all of that gets thrown out the window. So,
I didn't want those Brussels sprouts, no way.
anyway.
I didn't want them. No, and I don't like asparagus spears, so I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get well, you're not getting up from the table till you eat. And it's a funny thing, an hour later you're still sitting at the table, food's cold, and everybody walking by you and just shaking their heads, and your siblings looking at you like you're gonna be there all night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're missing out on all the fun. Just go ahead and eat that and be done with it.
Right? But by the way, you're not gonna get away with not doing your chores. If it's your night to wash dishes, you're gonna wash dishes. But you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go back to that table and sit down and try to eat that food. So it's like it's a no-win situation. But there are just certain vegetables that, and I know this for a lot of people, just does not suit the palate. So mine are spinach, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, cooked spinach. That is, I can eat raw spinach, but cooked spinach, no. Rutabagas, no. I know they're all good for you, but no, that just does not suit my palate, and I make no bones about it. I'm glad I'm an adult now, so I don't have to wait on anybody to tell me if you don't eat it, you're going to have to sit there and finish it because I don't. And unlike some people, if you don't like something, the best thing to do is tell somebody if you don't like it because that'll save a whole lot of grief and agony and anxiety and all these things. Because Christmas time, birthday times, you get gifts you really don't like, but you put a smile on and accept them anyway. Nah, I stopped doing that. I don't really, it's a nice gift. You don't like your gift, it's nice. That's a good way of telling folks you don't like it. Oh, you don't like your gift, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. For
And then
someone.
yeah, you don't say the other part for someone else, but not me. But it's nice. Oh, you don't seem like you like it. It's nice. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're not understanding that. Read between the lines. It's nice. Yeah, it is nice for somebody else. But anyway, we bring up all these things today because our topic of today's show is this: grateful, period, thankful, period, peaceful, question mark. And you might ask, why is there a question behind peaceful? Because that is something that seems to be very, very elusive. People just don't seem to embrace peace as it had been intended. But we're going to deal with the first two things, grateful and thankful. So before we do that, we'll give you the definition of grateful. And grateful is feeling or showing an appreciation of kindness, semicolon, thankful. So I know there will be some people that say, well, grateful and thankful are the same thing. Not quite. There's a distinguishing fine line between them, but showing or feeling an appreciation of kindness. So if someone extends you a kindness, something that someone does for you that's very thoughtful, very they thought about you from the standpoint of they thought you would like it or wanted to do something good for you, we should be grateful. And I wanted to extend that by giving you synonyms, and we'll give you synonyms for both grateful, peaceful, and thankful. But I wanted to give you synonyms that go along with the word grateful first. So some of the synonyms, are appreciation, gratefulness, thanks, acknowledgement, satisfaction. Check this out. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a synonym of grateful. And if you reverse those two words, it'll be giving thanks. Indebtedness, gratification, recognition, tribute. All of these words are synonyms for the word grateful. And when people do random, as they say, random acts of kindness, and now when they do these random acts of kindness, that means somebody does something without being asked. You didn't ask them, nobody urged them, nobody told them, they just did it because they wanted to. It's a random act of kindness. And I think one of the best random acts of kindness in 2022, 2021, 2023 is the concept of paying it forward. Paying it forward, which is a random act of kindness that someone does for you. And it's really one of those things where it's like a baton. They do it and want you to do it for someone else. So you're grateful when someone does that for you. And what they're hoping will happen is you're so grateful, you will do it for someone else. Pay it forward. Grateful, appreciative, satisfaction that you get from it, the recognition that you can receive for doing it or giving it, and then paying it forward. So, Ronleen, let me ask you, how often or how many times can you remember that someone did a pay it forward for you?
Repeat your question.
How often or do you remember that someone paid it forward for you?
Oh, too numerous to count. Too numerous to count. And I say that because I'm I was taught about gratitude at an early age, and
I think she froze up. Well, when we talk about grateful, being grateful, gratitude, I'm reminded of the album that one of the greatest pop music, R&B music groups ever did. Earth, Wind and Fire did an album called Gratitude. And I think that was a lot of their messaging in their music is to be thankful, to be grateful, to acknowledge the things that are good for you in life. So as you get these things, then you must reciprocate, as they say. So I think for me, I have had someone pay it forward for me where they actually kind of said they were paying it forward. But then sometimes when people just pick up your tab or pick up the bill or pick up some, that's a pay it forward in a different kind of way, but it's still paying it forward. Or it's just a reciprocation. Maybe you did something for them and now they want to reciprocate it. They don't call it paying back. It's not a payback. It's just reciprocation. They felt the gratitude that you did it for them. And it's nothing like doing it, especially for people who are definitely in need. There are a lot of needy people in this day and time, a lot of folks who are struggling to make it from day to day. And a random act of kindness, which is different than paying it forward, but a random act of kindness where you do something for someone can go a long ways. And if you've looked at some of the clips on Instagram or Twitter where you've seen individuals, they'll challenge someone and ask them a question and ask them to do something to see how long or who will actually help them. And then what they will do is they will turn around and tell that person, like if they ask for $1, a couple of dollars, and some people, they're down to their last dollar. But for whatever reason, they gave their last. And let me tell you, when you do acts of kindness, my feelings is this: when you do that, you get a blessing. So when these people have done these things, given their last to someone who's asked them for $1 to catch the bus or buy a cup of coffee or whatever, they give their last, knowing that they may not see $1 for another couple of hours or another day or so. And then when that person returns that gratitude 500-fold, 200-fold, whatever that amount may be, the person is overwhelmed with gratefulness. They're overwhelmed with the appreciation that someone stopped, thought of them, gave them what they did not ask for, but what they needed, and made that person better. And some of these people that I've seen, they have turned that little small gesture, turned their lives around. I know one individual, he gives people $500, and he's done that. He's also done the $500, bought them some clothing, took them to a sports event, and fed them. And some of these people turn their lives around. They're on hard times for a temporary period, but some people are on hard times for a long time. So, you've seen these things happen. You've seen people who, I know Shaquille O'Neal has a big heart. And I'm sure a lot of, entertainers or athletes have big hearts. I guess because when you do it outwardly, you get the gratification, or you get the recognition, or you get the visibility. And he has outwardly done his random acts of kindness. He says he likes to hang out at Home Depot and just watch people who not so much have the resources to purchase, but the ones who are struggling. I know on one particular slide on, I think it's Instagram, it's a photo of him buying a van for a family of 7 because they needed that type of transportation for a large family. And I won't say that he's looking for anything in return because I don't think he does it for that. I think he sincerely wants to help people. And because he has the resources where he can, then he does. So being grateful, showing gratitude, doing things, random acts of kindness, all that's tied into what you will receive in return. When you give, as it says in the Bible, it is better to give than to receive. When you do, excuse me, when you give, you get blessings. When you have blessings, as I've stated before in the shows, you put them in your blessing bank because you never know when you'll need a blessing. So that's the grateful part. That's the grateful part. Now, when we talk about thankful, thankful is a little different. So we're going to go back. Grateful is face a feeling or showing an appreciation. Grateful. Thankful is a consciousness of a benefit received. Benefit received. Something that came to you, something that was given to you, something that was shared with you. And you're conscious of it and you're thankful for it. Because there are two words that are just awesome words. Or, thank you are two words that are so powerful that if you say those two words every time something is done for you, or then you're showing your gratitude. The other is love, showing or saying to someone that you sincerely have that love for them. Now, in looking up the word thankful, they on the internet outlined there were 110 synonyms for the word thankful. 110 synonyms for the word thankful. And think about that. Thanks, being thankful, giving thanks. So some of the synonyms are glad, pleased, delightful, happy, joyful, blissful, gratified, thrilled, ecstatic, smiling, you're laughing, optimistic, cheery, jovial, upbeat, lighthearted, gleeful, rejoicing. These are some of the words that are synonymous with thankful. And as we just completed the Thanksgiving holiday, where we are supposed to be giving thanks for all the things that have been done for us in our lives, that have been given to us, that have helped us, that provided us with fulfillment, happiness, joy, gratitude. You're just thankful. You're thankful just for having specific people in your lives, for having friends, because not everyone has a friend, and friends are hard to come by. Sometimes it takes time to develop friendships. Some people connect right away and instantly become friends. So that's a very interesting dynamic to life and humanity, is friendship. And I had this conversation recently about the levels of friendship. So you can be an acquaintance, an associate, a good friend, a dear friend, a best friend. Those different levels of friendship. And having someone that you call your dear friend or best friend, that circle of individuals can be very, very small. We know a lot of people. We have a lot of associates, a lot of people we know, but not everyone rises to that level of dear or best friend. That requires maybe sometimes going through some things together, or they're supporting you in good and bad times. That requires sometimes longevity, how much time you've put in with a person. And we all have our faults. And being a friend to someone in spite of their faults, my faults, your faults, in spite of, I'm still your friend, because it's easy to walk away when friends do things you may not like or agree with. And at the same time, you're respectful of that person, as respectful of the person. So you don't have to necessarily enjoy or like what they do, but you're respectful of them as a person. So when you think about being thankful for things and or people, just know that that's a two-way street in both grateful and thankful. Stop letting it be a one-way street if you're on that path. Reciprocation, paying it forward. Again, as it said, do unto others as you would have others do unto you, which is a way of looking at thankful and grateful in a different perspective. But you don't have to do it exactly for that person. That's why paying forward is so critical in a day and time where people enjoy having things done uh, without asking for it. You just do it because your heart tells you feel that way. You're going to just do it. And when you do these things from the heart, you can't tell me you don't feel good. I dare anyone to tell me they don't feel good when they do a random act of kindness, of paying it forward, doing it because you chose to, not because you had to, wanted to, needed to, because you just felt that way. So you did it. And a lot of times people are not expecting you to reciprocate. But you know what they do expect? Those two words. Those two words mean the greatest. Thank you. Thank you. You can't say thank you enough. In the course of a day, you can't say it enough because, again, if you are so into receiving blessings, if you believe in a blessing, then when you get something or when you do something and someone thanks you and you thank them for doing something for you, even the smallest thing, it goes a long way. So the synonyms, like, again, for thankful are numerous: joyful, gratified, cheerful. Just a few of those are so positive. And in a time of society in the world where there seems to just be so much ungratefulness, or folks just are so mean and hateful to one another, they don't value the feelings of someone else, they don't value life, they don't value the fact that someone did something for them and did not have to. It just makes life harder for those who experience it. And there are people who deal with a lot of hardship every day. And if you ever pass by those places, locations in your city where you see homeless shelters, those are tough times for some of those individuals. Some of those individuals have mental issues that cause them to be on hard times. And I think one of the things that has caused us to have such a large population of homeless people is the fact that, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, we used to have mental health facilities and hospitals. And for whatever reason, it seems uh, a large amount of those went away, which left people who had mental situations on the streets. They didn't need to be on the streets. They don't need to be on the streets. They need to be in facilities that can nurture or care, give them the kind of assistance they need in order to just live life day to day. Because, the mind, as the United Negro College Fund states, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And when the mind is gone, you know, the physical attributes of a person tend to kick in sometimes. So be thankful, be grateful for all that you receive, for all that you gain, all that you get. Be more of a person who can do for others. And that's why we always say, do at the end of our show, we always say, do something good for someone else, not tomorrow, but today. And try to be less selfish and always worried about you. Although life has an I in it, team does not. And when you're part of the human or the humanity team, there's no place for I unless I is doing for others. When you're doing for others, yeah, it's okay to beat your chest a little bit, but you don't have to do it for every time you do something, because now that works against you. If you do something good for someone, let it stand on that. Let it stand on that gesture of kindness, that random act of kindness. Let it stand on that. You'll get yours later. It's not necessarily you'll get it today. You'll get yours later. And a lot of times you'll get it when you need it, because, folks love to put out that statement. He may not be when you want him, but he's always on time. Always on time. And what that means is you may not need him right now. You might think you do, but when you really need him, he's on time. So just think about how often the man upstairs has paid it forward for people in this world. And they say, thank you, God. Thank you for, and they receive it and they say, thank you. So let thank you be a part of your everyday vocabulary. That is what, a 8 letter words, 2 words. Thank you. Let that be more of a part of your daily ritual, as opposed to some of those negative, ugly, nasty 4 and 7 letter words. Try that. See how that works for you, as they say. How did that work for you? So we're at the midway point of our show today. We are so grateful and thankful for you joining us here on the Kitchings Table. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings, and every Tuesday morning, we are here to share our thoughts and sentiments and whatever knowledge and wisdom we have. We like to share it with you because we're thankful that you join us. We're grateful that you're a part of what we do, and we just want to give back, share, pay it forward, however we can do it, not with any monetary, but with wisdom and knowledge. And I like to ask young people, especially kids, which one is easiest to gain, wisdom or knowledge? I'll leave that with you. Ronline, you back with us now?
Yes, glad to be back.
Yeah, it looked like you had spazzed out for a second.
Mm.
So we're talking about gratefulness and being thankful today. So now, before we get to Ron Lee's segment on Black History, the last thing that we wanted to talk about is this elusive this elusive action, and it is called peaceful. Peaceful. And the definition for peaceful is this: free from disturbance, tranquil, not involved in war or violence. Peaceful. And some of the synonyms for peaceful are serene, quiet, benevolent, calm, gentle, relaxed, amicable, affable, kindly. So those are words that will bring you peace. And just in saying that 5 letter word, thank is a 5 letter word, peace is a 5 letter word. When you think about just the word peace, if you say it in the right framework, the right tone, it will calm things down. It will give you a restful state if you just say peace. And as big of a word as that is in its own respect for, what it tends to minimize, my question, Ronleen, is why is peace so elusive and so hard to bring about in humanity? Why is that such, you know, a thing where people they say it but they slow to act on it? Why do you think that is?
Even God couldn't come up with a good answer.
Wow.
And
You mean he shakes his head like,
yes.
oh my.
Yes, and he created us, right?
Yeah, he did. And
Yes. And that's all about I think what happened with peace is when power was discovered.
another 5 letter word,
Mhm.
power.
Mhm.
To have control over, dominion over, to determine what you will and won't do, from either a physical standpoint or a monetary standpoint. I have the power. I can buy what I want. I can buy this. I can buy that because I have the power of money. So if a person says that and you go peace, what do you think the reaction would be then?
The first three letters of power. Pow.
Okay. Okay. All right. See how Ronnie just flipped that from power to pow. We just said that peaceful was not involving violence, and she goes pow. Wow. Okay. Well, it's interesting because even the word peace and peaceful is ironic that there's an award for peace, the Nobel Peace Prize. There's an award for doing things peacefully, to do it at a peaceful level, to find peace amongst each other. The violence, the hatred, the dislike, the discourse, just in this day and time, I thought we were going to be progressively getting better, but for whatever reason, people who have hatred and malice in their hearts, and it's funny, Ronline, how those same individuals, what they turn around and do on the last day of the week?
What's that, Earl?
Well, they profess to go to church and call themselves a Christian.
Yes, and you and I had a discussion about that not too long ago. When I look at the congregations in the mega churches,
Yes.
Filled to capacity.
Spilling over.
Yes.
SRO, standing room only.
Yes.
Okay.
When I see that many people, and then you think about they're going out into their day to day world, what's happening?
Well, what they believe in is not totally what they've been mentored about.
Mm.
Because here's one concept to think about.
And before you go there, I just
Mhm.
want to clarify. I want you to provide clarity to my question because I don't want people thinking that I am talking about the mega churches. I know you get what I'm saying. So break that down for them so they'll understand exactly what I meant by that.
Well, there are the large facilities that have large congregations, but just in humanity and society alone, just think about the folks who don't go to mega churches, who don't even go to church, although they may be spiritually inclined. Well, the mega church of humanity in society as a whole, that's a mega church. You don't go to church, but you believe in a higher power. So that is a mega church, not under a mega church umbrella. But when you speak of the mega churches, it's not, so much that you are speaking about them. You're just saying that's one place where there's a large contingency of people. And that's what mega would be: a large contingency, a large group, an extraordinary amount. So you have those churches being led by one individual, and they have gravitated to that individual for whatever reason, personal, selfish, whatever the reason is, the belief. They like the way they share the word and things of that nature. But it gets back to everyone doing a self analysis of their heart and their head. I don't care what you heard on Sunday or Wednesday night or Tuesday night or Thursday night, whatever night you go to Bibles, it still comes down to your heart and your head, because ultimately that's where the final decision is made. It stems from that. So you heard it, it was preached to you. Now, when you leave there and you go to have a meal and the line is long and someone does something and you're mad, you turn into anger. Didn't you just leave a place that supposedly provided you with some insight to being more of a humanitarian, to have peace? Share some peace. Don't be upset. Don't get violent. Don't be untranquil, or be peaceful. But the human mind and body, the man upstairs, he I know he shakes his head to the point where it's like he got a neck cramp. He needs to see a chiropractor, because it's like, I just had somebody share with you the word, and look what you go out and do. You do a foolish thing, you say a foolish thing, what what did you just learn? Did you learn anything, or you just there for, as they say, show? You're just there for show. And it's hard. I mean, I think, I'm not saying I'm no different at times than others. Yeah, I think people cause you to, get into different attitudes based on what they do or say. And being peaceful or staying in that tranquil state, is can be difficult, and you have to call on some other things within you. And that's why I say it all comes from you individually, from your heart, from your head, to control your emotions. And I saw a quote that Bruce Lee uh, said that was on the internet. It's like being able to be calm and control your emotions in difficult times or times that upset you. When you can just be calm, that says a lot about you as a person, because it's very easy to get upset and react, but to remain calm and just be tranquil, be at peace.
Mm.
So I hope that helped clarify what you were saying.
Yes, and the stylight, the style, did I get the stylights or tell me what I'm saying now? What is that? It's not starlights. It's the anyway. They said there will never be any peace until God is sitting at the
Oh,
curb.
you're talking about the song that the Shy Lights sang.
Starlights,
The
yes,
Chicago, yeah, Chicago, the Shy Lights, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it won't be any peace. I mean, and when you look at what's going on in the world and right now, in a place where there's supposed to be a lot of spiritual peace, spirituality, and things of that nature, there's supposed to be. Folks are at odds over land, over things. So the peace from humanity, one faction is being violent against another, so the other retaliates. So it's interesting to see how that particular part of the world, every so many years, gets hung up or caught up in some type of violence, some type of war. And we're not even talking about large portions of land, like in Ukraine. That's a large country. But when you talk about Israel, the Gaza Strip, those aren't large portions of land that folks are fighting over, have been fighting over for thousands and thousands of years. And if the land could speak,
Mm.
if the land could tell its story about what it has seen, what it has felt, what it is, you know, if it could raise up the blood that's been spilt on it, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What would folks do then if the land could talk?
Mm.
Oh, be peaceful, land. Don't rise up on them like that because they couldn't take it. So they're going to go through this right now, and that's what it is. So today we talked about being grateful. Be grateful for things you get, for things that come into your life, people who come into your life. Be grateful. Be thankful for those same things. Give thanks. We just celebrated a holiday, Thanksgiving, giving thanks, and seek peace when you can, as often as you can, because as the songwriter and singer said, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
War is not good for anything other than destruction. It takes a long time to build a building, doesn't take long to tear it down. It takes a long time to build a person up. It takes each one of us a long time to develop our character and our personality and to get integrity and to have qualities that people admire or respect or want to be to follow. It doesn't take long to tear the physical building or the physical person down. So peace, thanks, gratitude. That's what we were talking about today. And as we get ready for another holiday season, again, be thankful, be grateful, respond with more peace than with violence. So that's going to take care of us this morning, Ronleen, and we're going to let you have your 5-6 minutes of Black history. And I'm happy that today's person, when I saw the name, I couldn't help but say I got to give this to Ronleen. She's got to, maybe not today, but on another day, she's got to highlight this person because the names were just synonymous. So I couldn't help myself. So take it away, Ron Lee.
Well, thank you so much. And before I do, today is thankful um, Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday. Today is Giving Tuesday, and I was listening to all the broadcasts talking about the different organizations that are doing great work out here to support. So I have a few organizations that I support, and one of them is um, the Mentors, which W. Earl Kitchings is the founder of that not for profit organization. And the other one is Suited for Success. The founder of that organization is Shara Mundy. So I know we have a couple of Suited for Success organizations out here, but I just want to make sure I clarify. It is Shara Mundy out of Jacksonville, Florida. So if you all want to support um, those organizations, also our sponsors dealing with who carries our show each week, and that is Awesome Radio. So please support those organizations and any organization of your choice. But today is Giving Tuesday. And so I just wanted to bring that to the public's attention. And now I want to introduce um, the Black History Acknowledgement today. And her name is Alexa Irene Kennedy. My last name is Cannady. Her last name is Canady. So Dr. Kennedy was born on November 7th, 1950. She just celebrated her 73rd birthday. She is now retired. She's a retired medical doctor and she specialized in pediatric neurosurgery. Now, why was she important to history? Because Dr. Kennedy became the first African American woman to become a neurosurgeon in 1984 and went on to become the chief of neurosurgery surgery at Children's Hospital of Michigan starting in 1987, and that continued to her partial retirement that took place in 2001. I want to talk about one of the quotes that she has. She said, "If you do good work, the rest doesn't matter." And because we're talking about today being thankful, being grateful, and then, of course, peaceful, we're aiming for being peaceful. And so when she was saying that, she doesn't look for the accolades or anything like that, her job is to take care of the needs of her patients, and her patients that she um, admired, was around, tried to nurture during the time that she was showing her bedside manner, are the pediatrics. Those are the children from 0 to 17, to 18, um, and some beyond that. But when you think about the way that she connected with her patience. They often call her playing video games with them. She just had a heart for them, a heart to make them better, to get them well, to work on um, whatever it was, whatever capacity it was to bring their spirits up. And so we talked about paying it forward for the lives that Dr. Kennedy has touched over the years. I just want to say thank you. And I am so sorry that, you know, you had to go through the things that you've gone through, with being discriminated against, being talked about, but I'm glad that you persevered. So, Earl, thank you for allowing me to bring this to you before the close of our show today.
Well, when you have someone as dynamic as Dr. Kennedy doing the things she's done, I mean, being a doctor is one thing. Being someone who is a neurosurgeon is at a whole nother level, because that is definitely a lot more knowledge about the human body to repair it than just being a general practitioner doctor. I mean, it's just another different level. So for her to be reach that level and be the first Black female to do that, I mean, it speaks volumes about her. So glad you could bring that to everyone today and share that nugget, because that is truly a true nugget. And we thank you that you are so inspired and moved to want to bring these weekly nuggets to folks, as opposed to just in February, which I think people want that to happen a little bit more frequently, is that we learn more about our Black history. And thank you so much for bringing that to us. So, Dr. Kennedy, kudos to you, and continue to be the person you are. Continue to inspire others, especially Black female doctors, to rise up and do their thing by serving. Well, Ronleen, seems like we just get into it good, and then it's time, like that clock says, it's time for y'all to get off and go home or go wherever you got to go. Like they say, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. So we got to get up out of here on the Kitchings Table today. We thank you so very much for tuning in. Tell your friends about us. As Ronleen said, I'm very thankful that I've been blessed to have a foundation, and the foundation is steadily growing, is doing some things. We are prominently doing something in the area of sports with our sports programming under the name Quarterfied Back. But if you are so compelled and so desirous to support us, go online and find us at the Mentors Foundation, or go to quarterfiedback.com and support and help us. So until next Tuesday morning, I'm Earl Kitchings for the Kitchings Table, and my co-host Ronleen Kennedy, saying, as always, do something good for somebody today. Until next Tuesday, take care, everybody. See you then.